This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host, and today we have another top five. We've talked to this guy before. We're going on the west coast of the U.S. all the way over to California, and let's hear right now, what is his top five? We are back with another top five. Now, I know you remember this guy. He is in the band Dear Lord. He's got a solo project called Bloodshot Buffalo. This is Sheafer. Before we even get to this, we got to talk a little bit because, you know, before, I think even before we did that interview for Bloodshot way back, we were talking about having some live shows. And you had a little bit of a story about a friend that either did he have a bar or did it close? What was going on with that?
I have a friend, Cody Brown. He has a bar called The Dirty. It's The Dirty Booze and Music. It's in Santa Rosa, California.
Right.
And he's trying to get that, once COVID, I don't know how to say it. Not when COVID is defeated, but like when we're at a point where we can start having shows and stuff. He really wants to start promoting the kind of music that you promote on your show.
Okay.
A lot of psych and doom and sludge and all that stuff. He's really into the 70s vibe. The whole interior is pretty much just all old 70s stoner rock stuff.
All right. So I'm going on it right now. The Dirty. 616 Mendocino Avenue, Santa Rosa, California. And, give him a like on social media, and hopefully, when it opens, we'll have a space. Now, okay, so he has a spot to have the bands, like a setup?
Not quite. That's what I've been hoping to help him with. We're going to hopefully do some commercials for the bar, and hopefully once he's at a certain point, we can maybe knock out a wall and put in a stage or something like that. But as of right now, I guess if a band were playing there, it's like a floor setup.
Yeah,
but
floor show.
It's it's more the vibe of the place. The place was the first speakeasy, and it was a speakeasy in Santa Rosa. It was the first gay bar in Santa Rosa. It was right. It's got some history to it, and now it's a kick-ass dive bar with really cool ownership and a great place for bands to come through, and they want to have all the bands.
So it's got some incredible lineage, and we can't let that go to waste. We got to support that, man.
Absolutely.
So, even in looking online, I see that they've got some T-shirts and stuff. I'm sure that it wouldn't hurt them if you went over and bought a shirt for the, what does it say? The Dirty Booze and Music.
That's it.
And they got some good merch too, man. Different illustrations and such. Go check them out. Follow them if you can, and hopefully someday, we'll get to that live music, and they'll be pumping some good psych rock and some stoner doom or whatever. So
totally.
Okay. All right, so we the reason I was doing that not only was to sidetrack you a little bit, but it's maybe to give you a little time to figure out this top five. Like, I could throw you... Okay, so some people, for the top five, they had the top five people that inspired them in their life, the top five songs they're listening to, things they're listening to right now, top five bands in a certain area, or it could be top five hot sauces, man.
How about top five shows I've been to?
Ooh, nice. I like this. Top five shows. Okay. This is good because we can set the stage, no pun intended, on this. And we don't have to... do you want to go from 5 to 1, or does it matter?
I have one... I'm sure I have 5 in mind. Okay. I don't know how to put them into categories. I know what the best one is, though. Okay. I don't know if I could start with that one and then just go down from there.
Leave the best for last. Whoever said that, I don't know. Whitney Houston, somebody, Dionne
Yeah.
Warwick. I don't know. Okay, so okay, top 5 concerts or shows. Let's start out number 5. What do you got?
Number 5, I'd say Municipal Waste at Tank Crimes Brain Squeeze 2014. That was one of the coolest shows I've been to. It was a really cool. It was. I don't know if you've heard of Tank Crimes in California.
I have not, but I definitely know Municipal Waste. We were looking at that. Okay, full disclosure here.
Yep.
For the millions that listen to this, we were thinking of trying to get Municipal Waste to be on a Planet Mammoth one night or one year, and we were going to try for 2021. As soon as we were doing that, they booked in Arizona, so that was
no shit.
But whatever.
No.
Hey man, it's they're part of that that crossover style, whether it's DRI or Suicidal or whatever.
Totally.
So what got you off on this show?
Coolest thing about it is there's a band, Ghoul. They're just this super brutal. If you've listened to Gwar, then you really like Ghoul. They're nothing like Gwar, but Gwar has a crazy stage presence. They have all these fucking weird antics and everything, and they shoot blood and stuff all over the crowd. But
Oh yeah.
Ghoul kind of goes over the top, and they have like a guy come out with like a bucket of fake vomit, and they throw that all over the crowd, and shit like that. They I think for this one they had Hillary Clinton, like a Hillary Clinton whatever, come out on stage, and they cut her head off and sprayed her blood all over the crowd. Or I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Bush. It was one of those corrupt politicians. But
they're equal opportunity offenders.
Exactly.
Exactly. Gwar did that. Gwar had not this recent tour. Well, the recent tour, obviously, we know who was made fun of. But previous tours, it was like it didn't matter whether it was Hillary, whether it was Sean Hannity, whether it was Kanye, whether before he was running for president or whatever happened there.
Totally.
So is that the guy? Is the Ghoul? I think they were like a thrash band. Yes, basically.
They're like a very brutal, like death thrash band.
Okay.
They have like a whole antic that they all speak with like a. They say that they're from Creepsylvania, and you can like buy a passport at their show, like a passport from Creepsylvania and all that. But they come out and they have this whole antic, like we're the ghouls of Creepsylvania and blah blah blah, and it was just cool. It was that's kind of their whole thing. They have like a whole vibe to them that's very death thrash. But the cool thing about it was the guitarist's last show, and they all wear like burlap sacks over their face. Not real burlap sacks, but they look like executioners or scarecrows or whatever the fuck they're trying to do.
Sure.
And for it being his last show, he took off his mask and like threw it out in the crowd, and he played, and then he threw his guitar out into the crowd. This fucking sharp ass edged guitar. He just tosses it out in the crowd. And for all I know, it impaled someone, but
it probably did. Yes.
Who knows? But so that's definitely on the list. That was a really cool show. And then Municipal Waste was great. That was a lot of fun.
Now we were talking last time about getting sweated up or getting on somebody at a show. You must have been a giant moving stink by the end of that night.
Oh my god, dude! I smelled like a foot. I'm sure. Just
okay. So
yeah.
Ghoul and Municipal Waste. That is number 5. What is number 4?
Number 4. I would have to say it's probably one of the Truck Fighter shows I've been to. I've seen Truck Fighters a couple times, and I would say that maybe the first time I saw Truck Fighters. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that for 3. Number 4 would be when I saw Red Fang in pretty much like near my hometown. They were in like one town over, and they played at the Mystic Theater in Petaluma, California, and it was just so cool to see Red Fang in a place where I saw Dick Dale like a few years earlier. it was just that was just so cool. Like I've had, it's like a pizza parlor next door. I had pizza with my parents all the time and all that stuff. And then like Red Fang's playing there. I went with my buddy. A bunch of my friends were there. I bumped into them, and it was just cool. It was like, I don't know, it was rad to just be in the front row and see them like in my hometown. That was awesome.
Did they, Red Fang? Interesting to me. Have they ever changed band members? I mean, I think they're
I don't think so.
All the same members through their entire career, from what I'm aware of.
They seem like they're like pretty good friends. They made a music video about them, like, oh, do you guys all get along? And then like the whole music video is them getting on each other's nerves. It's like, like it seems like they totally get along and they have like a good, brotherhood in the band. But so that's good. It's cool. It's cool to see that.
All right, Red Fang. Who was? Do you remember who? I'm sure they headlined. Who opened up?
Yeah, I don't remember who opened up, but honestly, I do remember what they were like. They were like they were like almost like a psychedelic jazz trio.
Oh, okay.
It was real weird, but it was fucking cool. Like this guy in like a 3-piece suit. This dude with a huge afro, and he had like a fedora on top, and he was just shredding guitar, just standing in one place. Just, it was nuts.
That's a good look.
But it was cool. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, man. I saw Red Fang in Arizona not too long ago, from what I remember. Great stuff, man. And great night. Had a bunch. I'm always a big fan of when I get to see a show. Well, let me shut up on that one for a second. Let me change my tune, because there's a part of me that I want to see a mixed bill.
Mm-hmm.
And there are nights, I guess I just like live shows. It doesn't fucking matter to me, because I also like it when I hear 10 bands that, well, they have a similar style, whether it's all one thing or all another. So I guess it doesn't matter to me. I'm just a fucking hypocrite, because I like all of it. I just like loud amps in the face, and much like yourself, I miss the hell out of it, man.
Dude, totally.
The last time I saw Red Fang, gosh, it was in December of what year was it? Last year. No, either way. I remember the band Hovenweep, a local band, opened up, and then Telekinetic Yeti came by right as they were having some different issues and stuff, and trying out different drummers on the tour, but they wound up going forward, and obviously they split off, and you had Twin Wizard, and etc. Okay, I'm babbling here right now. Let's move forward. So we got Red Fang, we got Municipal Waste. What is the next concert?
I'd say Truck Fighters. When I saw Truck Fighters at Bottom of the Hill in San Francisco, the coolest thing about it is, it's funny that the girlfriend I was talking about, she and I, that was like one of the bands we were really into, and it's cool with Truck Fighters. I like them so much that it doesn't remind me anything of that shitty relationship. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's still my favorite band. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. They're so good. But we showed up. We thought that the show started at the time that it said that the doors were opening. So we got there like 45 minutes before that, because I like to get there early.
Yeah, get up front, man.
Yeah, and we show up and they're doing sound check, and it's just them in the bar.
Oh shit.
And we walked into the bar, and we're like, we look over at the bar, there's no one at the bar. We look over, and they start jamming Mind Control, and like they start, and I'm like, dude, wait, what? And we were the only ones in there, and we got to sit through their whole sound check until someone came up to us and they're like, hey, the show's not starting for like another hour and a half. I'm like, oh, well, that was good enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, dude. There's no one here. We just got to see Mind Control and a bunch of other songs for nothing, with no one else around, and it was rad.
Well, here's a question for you. So, as a multi-instrumentalist, so Ozo, I guess that's how you pronounce it?
Ozo, Ozo, I think. Yeah.
So every time I see him, he plays that. He has the bass in a certain way, and he plays it a little, like has his fingers a little bit higher. Could you explain that to me? Do you know what the hell's going on there?
Not really. I know what you mean, though. He plays it kind of low. He plays the bass kind of low, and it seems so effortless when he's playing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like he doesn't really look at the bass like he's like looking at what he's playing. He's like just jamming, you know. And it's I don't know. I mean, everyone's different, but he just seems like he's very good at what he does, you know.
You know, I think 20 years or so in the business, I think you kind of figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Who opened up for Truck Fighters?
Who opened up that show? I don't even remember, honestly. You know what? Actually, no, that wasn't it. I went to Heavy Psych Sounds Fest, but that wasn't Truck Fighters. I think, who was the headliner for that? I know Duel played, Glitter Wizard played.
Ooh, interesting.
Was that the same show? I don't think that was the same show. It wasn't Brant Bjork. Who was the...
Was it a Heavy Psych Sounds band?
I'm not totally sure. Well, yeah, I mean, all of them were, but I think Truck Fighters were the... Maybe I'm thinking of a totally different show. It was at the same venue, though. I've only been to a few shows there, but I think that Yawning Man was supposed to play, and they didn't show up or something. I don't know. Anyway, that might be a different show, but I don't even remember. That could have been the same show, a different show, but it was fucking sick.
Absolutely. Okay,
yeah.
So we got Truck Fighters, we got Municipal Waste, and we have who else am I missing here?
Truck Fighters, Municipal Waste, Ghoul.
That's it. And yeah. Okay, so who is next on the top 5?
Is this number 2?
That is number 2. Yeah, number 2. And yes, I've made jokes about it. Yeah. Just go ahead. What's your number 2?
I would say I know what number 1 is, but number 2 would have to probably be the best sounding show I've ever seen. And the best sounding show I've ever seen was Anthrax.
Really?
I saw it. Yep, best sounding show personally I've ever seen. Maybe it was just because I was younger or something like that, but I just remember the sound was just fucking phenomenal. It was at the Regency Ballroom in San Francisco.
Okay.
And
what tour?
It was. I don't remember what tour, but it was with Guar and Exodus, and Municipal Waste and Anthrax.
Holy shit, that's a show.
It was fucking so sick. It was so cool, man. And it was like right at the height of me being like a little thrasher kid. And I'm like, dude, that's like most of my favorite bands right there. And it just sounded, I remember standing in the middle of the circle pit while they were playing Caught in a Mosh. And I was just standing there like, oh my God, like I'm in this right now. It was so sick.
Okay, so here's the big question. So you see Anthrax live, and you wait, and you wait, and you hear the chorus, you know, and you hear this piece and that piece, and then all of a sudden you hear dun 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 dun, and when they shout out "War Dance," tell me you don't fucking go crazy.
Yeah, totally. I think what my intention was to just charge into the pit and knock over a bunch of people, and I just got knocked over. I was like, War Dance, and halfway through saying War Dance, I got knocked on my ass. But yeah, it was great.
That is,
oh man, great show.
I've seen them a bunch of times in like Clash of the Titans tour. I was, it's like I right outside my door here, I have all these old tour programs. I mean, granted, some of them are like glam metal and hair metal or whatever. But I do have a tour program from Clash of the Titans tour, and it's like, do I really need this anymore? And I guess the big answer to that is yes, I do. I do need this.
Fuck yeah.
I will need this until I die.
If you ever feel like you don't need it, just send it to me.
Sure thing.
That's fine.
Yeah, right away.
Of course.
Right away.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we went 5, 4, 3, 2. We're at number 1. What's your number 1 concert?
Number 1 concert was, I think that you saw the post on it the other day. I saw when I was, what year was that? 2008, and I was just complete. I was in 8th grade at the time,
right?
And I was completely infatuated with Master of Puppets, start to finish. I was just listening to it on repeat.
Yes.
And my dad knew that, and my dad got me. He got me tickets to come see them with Lamb of God and The Sword.
What a great story.
Yep. And I was just like, dude, like I was blown away because my dad's not he's not into metal. I mean, he's a boomer. He's a ex-cop, Vietnam veteran.
Right.
Picture that guy singing Lamb of God. You know? So like,
well,
and The Sword, you know?
Yeah.
And so he knew how much I wanted to go, and he knew how much it meant to me, and it's like my favorite band of all time at the time. And I'm like, dude, this is just fucking incredible. And I waited, finally got to go, and we go, and my dad sat there through the whole thing. I think that he brought a fucking book to read. He was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was sitting there with a book, just reading the book. I think like Lamb of God was playing, and he was just like, he would like sigh and be like, oh God, okay, you know. And then Metallica played, and I was like, I remember looking over at him like, do you know this song? And he's like, sure. You know?
Okay.
Whatever. You know?
Schaefer, here's the question.
Yeah.
So you're at Metallica, right?
Yeah.
The headline, that's the one you want to see.
Yeah.
When you go there, so I'm closing my eyes right now because I'm picturing the scene. I feel like I'm Jukebox Heroing like Foreigner right now. So, okay, the lights go down. You hear the ecstasy of gold blaring out the speakers. Do your hairs on your arms? Do you get like? I'm getting it right now. I'm thinking about it. You know, It's like I remember the first time I was talking to Zach from Who to a Kill a while ago about this. We were talking about Metallica, and the first time I got to see him, they opened up for Ozzy on the Puppets tour. Mm-hmm. The second time when they headlined and they opened up they headlined over Queensryche, and I remember just like, you know, it's an old story, but just looking at my friends and like, oh, you feeling this, man? Yeah. You getting emotional or what? I think no, yeah, I'm just like, I want to start banging my head.
Totally.
You know, and oh my God, dude, that
something
feeling,
about it.
They nail it, and I don't care. You know, you call them whatever, call them a fucking sellout, whatever. I think they're going to go down as one of the most amazing rock bands of all time, influential to so many people, and I guess a question for you. So while you're watching Metallica, what was one of your favorite highlights of the night?
Man, what was it? I mean, one of the cool highlights is I saw The Sword. They were touring Age of Winters.
Right.
And seeing that was crazy because I had never heard of The Sword. I had never... Nothing. Like, I totally didn't know anything about them. And I remember seeing them, and my friends were there. They were, like, across the arena on the other side. It was kind of like Metallica played in the middle. It was Oracle Arena. They played in the middle, and then the whole stadium was around them.
Yeah, the theater in the round.
So, yeah. And so my buddies were, like, across, and they're like, yeah, they're all elitist about it. They're like, yeah, that band, The Sword, they sucked. I'm like, no, they didn't. That was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah,
like, whatever, you know. But seeing that was a highlight, but then seeing, I think that I was thinking like the whole time, like, damn, like, I hope that they play my favorite song. And my favorite song by Metallica is Metal Militia. And that song, just that and Disposable Heroes, those two songs are my favorite. And they played it. I'm pretty sure they played it. If I'm not remembering it right, like, if they didn't play it, I felt like they played it. You know, like, I know that they played pretty much everything I wanted to see. I think an honorable mention, just to totally sidetrack.
Sure.
I saw Black Sabbath on the end, or This Is the End tour, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what blew my mind, dude? They didn't play Sweet Leaf.
Interesting.
They played everything else I wanted to hear, but they didn't play Sweet Leaf. But that just made me think of that. I don't know. That's definitely one of the best shows I've seen. I don't know why I didn't say that, but I don't know. Yeah, as far as Metallica goes, that show, I don't feel like I had a highlight really. I think the fact that my dad took me to that show was more than enough for me. You know?
Yeah, man. He showed it. He really did. You know, it's. I would go to the shows with my friends, but I was also a big wrestling fan as a young man, and my aunt would take me to shows, to the wrestling events, and she, you know, I thought I was the coolest kid because I got to curse at the wrestlers when they came through, and I'm like, you so and so, and you know, whatever. Yeah. And I don't know, that was just a great time, man. I will not forget that. But here's the thing with the And Justice for All tour. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you get the chance, go down the rabbit hole on YouTube and look up And Justice for All, And Justice for All tour, when you feel like you're actually watching Damaged Justice in front of you as the whole breakdown occurs. Oh, dude, man, it is. That was a highlight of that night because no one, and I repeat to this, no one I have seen has done this since for a stage setup or what they exactly did. I don't know if you even know what they did, but I'm not going to ruin it for you. I will say go check it out, because when we saw it, all my friends and I looked at each other like, oh my God. And I don't want to explain the rest of it, but go check it out and see for yourself. So, okay, so that, Sheafer, is your top 5. Thank you so much. And, of course, we know that top 5s are always subject to change, but this is the top 5 right now.
But the best thing, I want to add one thing.
Yes.
Best thing about that Metallica show, best and worst thing about that Metallica show is had a great time, saw all the bands. It was awesome. And my dad got me a shirt, he got me a book, he got me all this stuff, and we drive home, I'm all stoked, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Right. And we get home, and I'm totally psyched, and we get home, and my mom's sitting there at the dinner table in a neck brace. And she has, like, bruising on her face and all this stuff, and she's, like totally fucked up.
Right.
And come to find out, she got T-boned in a car accident. Like, there was an unlicensed driver, I guess. He didn't wait at the red light, and when he had the left where you're supposed to yield to oncoming traffic, he didn't yield. Totally and he didn't know where the brake was either, so he just, like, floored it into her car and kept flooring it and drove her up into, like, someone's yard and just totally fucked her up and hit her on the driver's side door. She was, like, she went to the hospital. She was in a neck brace, massive bruising, you know, all that shit. Her wrists were fucked up, whiplash, neck, all that. And I get home, and she says, I'm like, Mom, why didn't you call us? Like, we would have come home. She's like, I know how much this show meant to you, and I know how much this band means to you, and music and everything, and I didn't want to ruin your big night. Oh. And that's just, like, the craziest shit in the world. I'm like, damn, that's what made it the best show ever, is, like, it's more a combination of the circumstance, you know? Absolutely.
And Sheafer, that is a testament. Anybody out there, you got the chance, go hug your mom. Go hug your mom today. Tell her you love her. Tell her thank you for supporting. And if she's doesn't live by you, send her a text. Moms love texts.
They love that shit, dude. If you say some random shit to your mom, she'll cry.
Yes, yes. You know? So and people out there, don't forget that. Thank you, Sheafer, for that story, man. It gives me the feels. You know, it's just like the same feels as watching Metallica headline for the first time. I get the same. Yeah, because we all have those. We all get those moments when, you know, maybe you were a kid and you couldn't afford the record, the CD, or whatever, and your mom or your dad slip you a few bucks and said, don't tell mom, don't tell dad, but I just want to make sure that you get yours, you know. And
that was one of the shows that made me want to become a musician. That was the first big show I've ever been to, and because she didn't call us, because we didn't go home, I got to experience an arena show for the very first time with my dad, and that drove me for years to want to become lead singer, bass player, drummer, all of the above. And, you know, thanks to them, that's what happened.
I think you should message Metallica and let them know that.
I will.
I'm going to have to reach out to them. Hopefully I'll be getting an interview soon. Doubtful,
real soon.
But hey, enough people.
You gotta try, man.
Yeah, you know what? You know, if you don't know, if you don't ask, you don't get. You know.
Start a GoFundMe, dude. I'll get some signatures.
Right on. Sheafer, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your top 5. And I'm sure we're going to talk soon again when either Bloodshot Buffalo, Half Slug, or Dear Lord has brand new material.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. As always, you're doing a great job with your show, and totally support you, man.
Thanks, brother. You take care.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Sheafer, for giving us your time. Also, thank you to Ian from No Masters Audio for taking care of all of the sound here. Really appreciate it. doomtombpodcast.com, new and archived episodes. Across all forms of social media, it's Doom Tomb Podcast. You want to do an interview, you have a review, you got a submission, doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have some other stuff coming down the line, so sit tight. We'll be back with another one in just a bit. Until that next time, meantime, and in between time, support your bands. Reach out to your friends. And don't forget to stay heavy.